Hello doctors, with the release of Chapter 5, I think it is about time to start looking at Annihilation 3 and start preparing for it. In this video, I will try to explain the complete Annihilation 3 in detail, focusing on the enemies, the waves, and the main challenges in this stage. Note that this is not a team building guide and is not for homework purpose. Annihilation 3 map looks like this, and it has the common limitations for Annihilation maps. Maximum of 9 units can be deployed at any time. The base has 10 life. You start the map with 50 initial DP, and there is no DP regeneration except those from vanguards. The map has 3 lanes, top, middle, and bottom, with majority of the fights happen in the mid line. Notice that there are holes near bot lane, enabling pushers to make the fight easier. Chapter 5 introduced a new type of map objective, the turrets. Turrets are indestructible map objectives that deal 600 physical damage every 5 seconds to the first unit they hit. In Annihilation 3, there are 7 sets of turrets that spawn as you progress, adding extra pressure to your medics. The turrets will spawn in the following order. Turret 1 spawn around 68, Turret 2 spawn around 119, Turret 3 spawn around 200, Turrets 4 spawn around 300, Turrets 5 spawn around 350. Once all turrets appear in the battlefield, there will be very high healing pressure. With good level, AoE medics will be helpful in this stage. Now let us talk about the enemies in Annihilation 3. All enemy units in Annihilation 3 are listed in this graph. While most of these enemies are just random trashes that won't cause any trouble, there are some high-threat targets that will bring serious problems. First of all, the Crushers. These hammer boys are introduced with Chapter 5, having huge HP, high attack and high defense. They also stun your units on every third hit. Luckily, they have no resistance, making them easy targets for casters. Near the end of the stage, a Crusher leader will appear. This guy has super long HP bar, super high armor and high damage. However, same as his squad, he has no resistance. Bring your casters to deal with him. Next troublemaker is this new drone, Artmaster A2. These drones fly very slowly, but they do serious art damage. Pairing with the turrets, they can deal 1200 mixed damage to a high ground unit, and that could be lethal in many situations, so keep an eye on them. A2 has 6000 horsepower, a low 140 defense and 65 resistance. You will want you snipers to take these drones out ASAP. Finally, Bombtails. We have all seen them in Chapter 5. The main threat is the 800 AoE damage bomb that they carry. Luckily, there are only a few of these in Annihilation 3. Either take them out quickly with your snipers, or have your medics prepared for the huge AoE damage. During the entire Annihilation 3 fight, there are only 6 Bombtails. The first 5 will appear together at around 270. They will stay idle for around 60 to 90 seconds before start moving. The bottom 2 are within normal AA sniper range and can be easily dealt with. The top 3 will be out of normal AA sniper area but will be reachable by AoE snipers and platinum with S2 activated. The last Bombtail arrives at 300, and I don't think it's a trouble by itself. Artmaster A2 is one of the big challenges in this stage. Throughout the entire fight, 15 A2 will appear. The first A2 will appear around 301, circle the map from top right corner. The second A2 appears around 316, circle the map from bottom right corner. The third wave is a combination of the previous 2. 2A2 will appear from top and bottom right corners of the map, both circle the map and deal damage on their way. The fourth wave has 5A2 appearing around 350. This is a special case and we will talk about it later. The last wave of A2 arrives near the end of the fight. 6A2 will move straight through mid lane with a 40-second interval between each other. Next, we have the Crushers and their leader. In Annihilation 3 there will be 7 Crushers in total. 5 of them will be in the 350 wave, and the other 2 walk through mid lane near the end of this stage. The Crusher leader will join the fight at 381, then stand still for about 95 seconds. You can weaken him with units like Shirayuki and Blue Poison before he reaches your defense. Notice that this dude has 2000 defense, making him super tanky against normal snipers. 350 is where the real game begins. the last set of turrets joins the fight, plus the huge wave of 5 crushers, 5 special ops caster leaders, and 5 A2 drones. This wave looks extremely scary at first sight, but it is not as frightening as it seems, as the enemies will not be marching together. Similar to the Bombtail wave, the bottom 2 A2 can be easily dealt with by the bottom line sniper, and the upper 3 can be reached by AoE snipers or platinum. For the crushers and caster leaders, they will not all move in together. Instead, they move one pair at a time from top to bottom with a 30-second interval. The first 2 crushers will follow a S-shaped route, walking a long way before reaching the end. The third and fourth crushers are more challenging as they move straight through mid lane. The last crusher walks a reverse S-shaped path, start from bottom and end at top. For the caster leaders, the first and the fifth will walk along top and bottom, while the other 3 trying to enter the middle exit. The next part I will try to introduce the waves of this stage with in-game footage. This footage is from Chinese version, and is super over-leveled. Special thanks to Anubis for providing this footage. Personally, I divided Annihilation 3 into 6 different phases, based on the enemies that will appear. Phase 1 is between 0 to 119. In this phase, only trash mobs will spawn, and all of them will only move toward mid lane, so there is literally no threat at all. To reckon DP, 1 Vanguard would be fine, but 2 will make it faster. Make your choice based on your operators. This phase is for you to deploy most of your operators and prepare your defense. During this phase, the first turret will appear in the middle around 69. The only thing to keep in mind is that at around 89, 2 airborne leaders will ambush top. Make sure you have someone to deal with them. Phase 2 is between 120 and 200. The main enemy units for this phase are invisible units including Lurker, Crossbowman and Invisible Caster Leader. From now on, enemies will start moving toward top and bot lane. Get your defense ready. Also, second turret appears during phase 2. Notice that there are holes at the start of bot lane. You will need pusher skill level 4 to make use of them. Unlike Annihilation 2, your pushers need some levels to survive the enemy damage. Phase 3 is between 200 and 300. The first part is multiple waves of Artmaster A1 and Breakers. Unlike A2, A1 are much easier to deal with. Breakers are basically Hound MK2, dealing some damage but super squishy. After that will be the 5 Bombtails at 270. While the bomb is dangerous, they will stay idle for over 1 minute for you to take them out before they move, and they will move one by one, giving time for healers to heal up your operators. Another wave of Breaker and Breaker leaders plus some special ops casters will come after that, and phase 3 concludes with one last Bombtail on its own. Phase 4 would be the last chill phase in Annihilation 3, covering 300 to 350. Artmaster A2 start to show up during this phase, but only 1 or 2 at a time. Enemies show up in the following order: A2, possessed units, A2, possessed units, 2 A2, possessed units plus 2 veteran butchers. Upon reaching 350, the last set of turrets will join the fight, and the real game starts soon. The real game starts from phase 5. At 350, the scary squad will line up and stand there, waiting to take some free damage. As I mentioned earlier in the video, this huge wave is not as hard as it looks. The main challenge from this point onward is actually the endless waves of possessed veteran Junkman. Combining with the squad members, you will be under heavy pressure. Therefore, how to weaken this squad before they join the fight becomes a main challenge. Units like E2 Silver Ash and Aja will be great help because of their superior burst potential. Long-range operators like Shirayuki and Meteorite can also help by killing the drones and casters quickly. There will be so many ways to deal this one, so be creative and find out your own way. Finally, we are now at the endgame. The Big Red Crusher leader is now here in the battlefield, also ready to take some free damage for about 90 seconds. While he stays idle, the final wave of Reunion possessed units and A2 will desperately tries to get through. Apparently they are easier than the previous wave, but since you have burned all your abilities earlier, there is still chance for a leak. Normally the leader will start moving after 390 with a few other enemies. Take them out, and you can celebrate your victory in Annihilation 3. Basically this is all I want to talk about in this video. Thank you for watching this somehow boring guide. Hopefully it can help you a little bit in preparing for your own Annihilation 3 runs.